I think the imposter syndrome for me comes in a lot where I want to be perfect.
James has a strange habit when he finishes a song.
I mean, I have to play it in my car. Like, my girlfriend would go, we'd be at a store and I'd be like, can you just run in so I can play the song in my car real quick?
That might sound like a small habit, but it reveals something much bigger: perfectionism.
This habit of like, oh my gosh, it needs to be the best. So then if I'm not, I immediately discredit myself.
And when something has to be perfect before it can be shared, oftentimes it never gets shared.
Putting it out there and getting a public opinion about it has been a little nerve-wracking.
Perfectionism sounds like a strength, but continual looping of editing can stop progress. So I had to ask him, how did you break the cycle?
What personal development tool do you use to help hit your goals?
So I titled it Beating Perfectionism. Right now, it's mostly been being comfortable just sharing it with people. People ask me, how do you like mix it? How do you like master it? But recently I've kind of like taken a stance for like, maybe I do know what I'm doing and I'm going to tell them exactly what I do. And maybe that information will benefit them.
For a long time, the only place James trusted his music to be heard was inside of his car, alone. Now, it was ready to be heard outside of it.
And you keep like alluding to this music. Can I hear it?
Yeah, I can play it.
May I?
Sure.
Welcome to this episode's Best Path Forward, where we talk about personal development tools that we use to hit our goals. Today, I'm joined by James Cerna.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that fist bump?
It's because I don't know, I'm excited.
You excited?
Yep.
Are you finally excited to be here?
I am. I'm a little nervous, but
What are you nervous about?
I don't know. I think this is a step into an uncomfortable zone for me to just talk and have that be released out there. So
Released out there.
Mhm.
Discomfort. So what are your general thoughts on discomfort and kind of like approaching that?
I think it's, well, recently something I've been trying to really battle, actually, like putting things out there, kind of doing things that you didn't think you would. Because I found that most of the time it leads to good things, different things that might change the way you view everything, might change your life, honestly. So yeah, I've been trying to approach it more open and sort of embracing that uncomfortable side.
Now, when you put out carrots like that, I have to take them. So you say you've been trying to put out things that are going to make you feel discomfort, like you're putting them out there. That act of putting it out there is making it a little uncomfortable.
Mhm.
All right. So what is it?
Okay, so recently it's been some music that I've been producing. It also is a genre that I don't think many people listen to. So, I mean, I think about all of those kinds of things. I know my family doesn't really like the genre, so I can't really go to them. So putting it out there and getting a public opinion about it has been a little nerve-wracking. I have gotten criticism, but I think criticism can be constructive. It can also just be kind of like they're just hating to hate, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right. So you are a music producer.
Yep.
So how does one go about making music?
It's a process. I've actually been doing it since I was probably like 11 years old. So I've always had like the computer program you need, and I've just kind of learned by doing. And this kind of gets into like taking credit for it too. Like I feel like I always tell people are always asking me, how do you produce? How do you like do it? And I always am immediately like, I don't really know. I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of discredit myself.
Oh boy.
So I've been trying to be better about that.
So what do you think the discrediting yourself comes from?
I think it's that fear of like, almost like imposter syndrome. So, I mean, this happens to me in science, which I'm sure we'll get to, where you just kind of feel like you're not good enough, even though clearly like you've done something that people are kind of like resonating with a little bit. So the music thing, like I've had at least 4 people ask me, how do you like mix it? How do you like master it? And at first I would always tell them, I don't know what I'm doing. I just kind of make it sound good. But recently I've kind of like taken a stance for like, maybe I do know what I'm doing and I'm going to tell them exactly what I do. And maybe that information will benefit them. And I love teaching too. So I've kind of tied that into it. So yeah.
I was going to ask you that too, because if someone's asking like, oh, how do I do this? And you're like, oh, I don't have any idea. How do you think that would make them feel?
I think it could make them feel conflicted about coming to you for advice. Like, and again, it's also like you have the results they've seen. So clearly something that they see that you've done is like, this person knows what they're doing. So, I mean, I think if you want to keep your credit and keep your like, for your fans or your peers or whatever you're trying to do, like you should be comfortable in your own skin and say, hey, yeah, I did this and this is how I did it. Because also I think you could learn from however they're doing whatever. Like, so if they're producing and they're trying to do it, you might learn something that they're doing and be like, I actually really like that. And like, I could put that in my own stuff too. So yeah.
All right. So I'm a big fan of practicing what you preach. So you said at first you were telling people, man, I don't know what I'm doing. So don't come to me for advice. That's exactly what you're really saying when you tell someone you don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
And the second stance is like, you know what, I'm going to be a little bit more confident in what I'm doing. It's a little uncomfortable sharing like a personal project with people.
Yeah.
And so once you kind of took that stance, have the results been any different?
I'm not sure yet. Actually, I just sent a message last night to someone. So TikTok is like the main platform I've been promoting my music on that like subject. So I sent a message last night, literally just wrote paragraphs about what I do. And I don't have like fancy equipment also. I think a lot of people would be surprised by that. And I've just explained that I haven't really heard anything back. So I mean, like right now I'm kind of I'm like, man, they probably think I'm stupid or something, or don't actually know what I'm doing. But I've yet to see for that interaction.
It's funny, you just did the same thing again there.
Yeah.
You said like, hey, they probably think I'm stupid. What do you think that comes from? Like, why do you do that?
I think it's just an innate self response to like, I always feel like I'm not good enough. And I think this kind of leads to the whole idea of like, I want to be the best. And then if I ever did get there, I'd still probably say, something is not right. Like you're still not good enough. Like you're not the best. It's hard to explain.
I think imposter syndrome is pretty much a big framework of what people kind of have the same feeling of.
Yeah.
If you can kind of break it down into like 2 words, imposter syndrome. It's like, hey, no matter where I am, I don't belong here. I don't deserve it. Although I worked my butt off to get here. I've been doing music producing since I was 11 years old. I don't have the best gear, so that's like a strike against me. People don't think I have people might think I have fancy equipment. I don't, so that's another strike against me. And so it's like, you feel like you don't belong there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you think about like all these great entrepreneurs, like the whole I started in my garage type of story. I mean, everyone kind of starting their journey doesn't start with the quote unquote best gear at all.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, you really don't need the best gear. What you need is time and dedication to that mental room. And so do you think the gear really matters for you producing your music as far as the way you want it to right now?
No, and I actually think that's going to be part of my promotion tactic is people will post like studio photos and it'll have like this crazy thing. And I think I'm just going to show my laptop with my little earbuds and be like, this is like just to show like you can do this with almost nothing, like things that I think a lot of people have already available to them. Because I also like inspiring people to keep going. Like I had one person comment on one of a clips, like a music clip I sent, and he was like, it was for like a competition. So he said, oh, I'm just going to delete my stuff because this is like so good. Like he has no chance of winning. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm like, no, like finish it. Like, I want to hear it. Like, let me see what you're doing. And it's probably really good. Like I don't want people to feel the same kinds of things that I felt, sort of like when I was just starting.
All right. So what do you do to kind of combat those feelings?
Right now it's mostly been being comfortable just sharing it with people. I think that I have this really weird fear that I will immediately get judged or something and be like, oh my gosh, you listen to that kind of music, which is electronic music, by the way, like EDM, electronic dance music. Yeah. And I like all genres. So I do like dubstep. There's like a bunch of others that I think some people have kind of heard of. And anyway, so like I always just think someone's going to be like, why do you make that? Why do you listen to that? And so far I found that it doesn't happen. So
it's funny, like the big boogeyman, like everyone's going to laugh and point at you. And it's like, oh, James, you suck. Like that probably doesn't happen.
no.
And what does happen is people are like, oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's either, oh, that's super cool. How did you make that? Or like, I didn't know you did that. Or that's not for me, but it's cool that you're doing it.
So how does that make you feel when you get those responses?
It feels good. Like, and actually, I think some of my family has been like, wow, I can't believe you're doing that. How do you do that? Like, I didn't know you did that. Like those kinds of feelings, especially from like people, and like friends. Like I do have some friends that listen to the genre and they've told me, wow, that, I had no idea you had like this side of you. It's been nice to like explore that a little bit and just like feel a little bit better in my skin about doing it and putting it out there.
All right. So what have you put out so far?
So I've got one release on Spotify.
Okay.
And then I have like, so if you follow me on TikTok, which my name, okay, so there's like stage names. This is another thing where it's like kind of weird. So my stage name, it's Bracket, okay, with a capital K. And it actually comes from like science stuff. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so just like putting those kinds of things out there. And then there's also clips on my TikTok page, which has been my #1 source of like engagement. And you'll see like there's a bunch of songs that I've started that I haven't really finished yet.
All right. But you at least put out one, it sounds like so far.
Yeah, one official release. And then I have like some collabs coming up, and then all of those clips that I've shown on my TikTok page I plan to finish.
All right. And do you care about the response?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do think some things are constructive and like actually helpful.
Okay.
So, and I do think I care. I do care about the response, specifically when people enjoy it like the way that I do. There is just something about that feeling of like wow, you created this, and now people are like, they're connecting with it, and they're like, wow, I really like this. This is so like, when is it releasing? When are you putting this out? It is something you like chase, and I think that's why I like producing music a lot.
And I think that kind of dovetails back to what you said earlier. It's like you have this, what you think is a unique genre of music, and chances are there's a lot more people out there that kind of vibe with the same music. And so, although it might not be the most popular music, and I've heard of EDM music, and I know nothing about music, the fact that I heard about it, that means it's probably pretty popular at this point. And so, the fact that people kind of know about it, like you're joining this community of people, and you're engaging with this community of people, and you're finding other people that are doing music, and instead of having the approach of, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. Instead of saying, hey, I know what I'm doing. This is equipment I'm using. The barrier to entry is pretty low. You don't have to go out and spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on this equipment. And you can find other young people to inspire as well.
Yeah.
I think that's good stuff.
Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm pretty excited to see. I also think it's a great way to like express yourself. I think I've been on this big music phase, and music has always been part of my life, but recently it's like really changed just how I handle a lot of stuff. Like I use it as a tool when I'm studying, when I'm reading. If I just need like a break or something, I play it, and like there's songs I play. It just makes you feel things. I mean, that's the whole point. But I think it's like it's been very like important for me recently with like my stress relief and all that kind of stuff.
So music has had a resurgence in your life, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's become one of the tools that you use to kind of like help manage your stress around you.
Yeah.
So like what kind of songs do you listen to like calm down? Is it EDM as well?
Sometimes I listen to EDM, like mostly if I need to be motivated. There are songs that like if I'm doing science or something, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put on this crazy song that makes me feel really energized so I can keep going. But if I'm like trying to study or like really mellow out, I do think lo-fi hip hop is like another spin-off genre. It's basically just it's like almost rap but with no rap. But they're like very chill beats.
Hold on. Rap, but no rap.
Like it's like, so with like all of these things, it's like just the drum part, like the beats and the samples, very slowed down and very like mellow, but nobody's like rapping on the beats. It's just the beats. It's instrumental.
Oh, I love instrumental music. Like movie trailers, especially. Like it could be a crappy movie, but that trailer is good. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Just the trailer, not the whole movie, because it has some good instrumental music. I think Hidden Citizens is one of my favorite people. They have like an epic Moonlight Sonata trailer version.
I'm gonna look that up.
You have to. I sent it to you a while ago.
My bad. It's also this is very interesting to me. Like I like exploring why people like other music, and like it'll be interesting to sort of view it from your perspective. Like, well, why does Dan like this? It seems different. Like I think that's different. I don't know many people that listen to movie trailer music, but it's cool that you like it.
All right. Was that a question or are you just pondering it in your head?
I'm pondering it.
All right, good. I'm glad you didn't ask. I don't have a ready answer yet.
Okay.
It just kind of makes you feel something, It just kind of like moves your soul a little bit. It's like you kind of hit it. It's like the crescendos and everything.
Oh yeah.
It just hits.
Yeah. There's actually a Billie Eilish song, and that's not really EDM. Way out of my comfort zone, but I don't even know the name of the song. But
great start to describing this great song that's had a big impact on you.
It is so good. It is so good.
How does it go?
I can pull it up.
Oh, definitely not. They will not let me play that. If you start playing a Billie Eilish song.
Title.
Oh, the title?
Yeah.
I mean, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Besides, I have a more important question for you that I didn't get a chance to ask. So, James, what's your story?
My story. I don't know right now. It's a bit complicated. I think I juggle a lot. So I currently in a PhD program, making music. I think school and music have always been the two components of my life.
Wait. You're in a PhD program for making music?
No. I'm in a PhD program for biophysics. And so this is where like, it's honestly been put on the back burner in my brain because I've been so obsessed with the music stuff. It's very weird and I don't like it. I'm trying to work on it.
What's weird about it?
I feel like school. Well, okay, so there was this big exam. Yeah, so there's this big candidacy exam. If you're not familiar with the PhD process, right? So you have to basically earn your master's degree. It's very stressful in front of a whiteboard full of 4 professors that can pretty much decide your future, like if you pass or fail. So I feel like I studied and studied up to there, passed it, but I got very burnt out. So, I mean, I was reading every day, going to the library every day, practicing, talking to myself all the time, trying to just like present. And so now like I've had this really weird phase of like, it's not that I don't care about school. It's just like, I think I just got really burnt out and I needed a break. And I've kind of just put it on the back burner in my head. And even when classes have started, but I'm not taking any, it's just been like not going the way that I've hoped so far, but I'm trying to be better about like pursuing that side of me that I know is there, like science.
So what do you mean it's not going the way that you hope? Because it sounds like I know just because we talk in the gym and everything that you did a pretty big thing a couple of months ago.
Mhm.
You had this presentation in front of these people, and it sounded like it was 4 professors that you had to talk to.
Yeah.
And was this the candidacy exam?
Yep.
And you did pretty well there.
Yep.
And so, is there anything that's looming on the horizon now for school?
Not until I graduate. I think also there's a bit of uncertainty with like my research right now too. That's kind of adding to this feeling. It's almost just like I'm not sure where I'm headed now. Like all of this led up to my at first the first 2 years like all your candidacy exam. You need to pass your candidacy exam. That's like what I was told. Pass your candidacy exam. Pass it. Pass it. Pass it. And now I passed it, and it just feels like so what's the word? Like it's not like something crazy happened. Like I'm just now back into like a normal routine.
Uneventful?
Yeah, like there was no real impact to it. Like I did all that work, all that stress, all of that, putting a bunch of other things aside just to say, "Oh, you passed." And then now it's like, "Okay, go back to being a TA, go back to teaching and doing research every day and just going to your office." Like it's very weird. So,
That makes sense. I mean, I assume it takes a lot of work to kind of prepare for the candidacy exam. And
mhm.
once you kind of get past that, obviously it's like, all right, you kind of step out of that mental room for a while. And it sounds like music was a thing that you stepped into.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about not having a whole lot of, I guess, guidance of where to go next for the PhD program?
I think I'm trying to be patient. Like my professor, he was doing a bunch of stuff, so he's been a little bit busy. So I definitely understand that side. Also, believing in myself more to just do stuff without really needing his guidance. I mean, clearly, I passed the candidacy exam, so I have a research ethic that they thought was worthy of continuing the PhD. So I've been trying to explore science a lot more, trying to get like gain that spark in me a little bit, and really just try to be more independent about it, and actually pursue scientific questions that I think could lead to some stuff.
All right. So, how does one become independent in their kind of thoughts and theories and practice once you pass your candidacy exam?
So quite honestly, and I think this kind of goes against the independent part, I think talking to other people has been something I've been trying to really be better about. Cause I I'm surprised with how many times like among my peers, like people in my lab, I just go to them with my problem. Like I'm stuck. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, can you like help me? Have you ever dealt with this? And they will just give me all of this advice. Like different people will have different perspectives, and it's like, no, I haven't tried that. So I think that's been something that's been helping me. It also helps you just like socialize, and you can talk about things outside of science a little bit to help you kind of take a break. I think that's honestly been one of the biggest things, and it's uncomfortable for me to say that because me, like I don't want their help. I want to do it myself. Um,
Do you want to do it for yourself for like a pride or ego thing, or because you don't think someone else has an answer that could help you? Or number three, do you not think you're worthy of asking for help and receiving their help?
I think it jumps around a little bit.
Okay.
I think the ego and the last thing you said are for sure probably the two things.
All right. So, what is it about the ego that prevents you from getting help when you need it?
It just feels like I can figure it out myself. So maybe that does tie into like I don't feel like I don't want to like burden anyone else a lot of the time too. Like I don't want to go to them with my issues and be like, hey, can you figure this out with me or something? But I think it just comes from an innate like I just want to do this myself. It's my work. And I mean this ties into the music stuff too. Like so the collaboration projects, oh man, it was pretty hard for me to go, I think you should take the lead on this like track that we're gonna produce. I want you to take the lead because I want to learn. I want to explore your headspace a little bit, how you make music. And the same thing goes for science. Like pretty much everything, I think collaboration is very important.
I think that's fantastic that you kind of have that thought process. One of my core tenets is mind, body, spirit.
Mhm.
One of those being spirit. It's like reaching out to other people
Yep.
because we don't have all the answers at all. In fact, we have a lot of blind spots.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen someone in the gym that's new to the gym and you just feel compelled to go make sure they don't kill themselves?
Yeah, sometimes I do feel that, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like when you notice that, it's like, hey, I don't want to be overbearing and let them know what I do. But if they come into you and ask you for help, it's like, I can help you to one, prevent injury, and two, actually help you grow the way that you want to grow.
Yeah.
And so it all saves on time because if you don't ask for that help and don't get that feedback, chances are you'll be miles down the road going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So then you have to like either backtrack or just find a new direction to get back to where you're originally going on your original path. And so if you reach out to people and kind of ask for their help, they can say, hey, I did that this way, and this is my experience. It may or may not be your experience, but I just want to let you know these potential pitfalls exist. And so as you're going through the same path that they just kind of went through themselves, it's like, oh, I can see that. And I realized that had I not talked to that person, I could have made the same mistake, wasted a lot of time, gotten a little frustrated. So when you have reached out to people in like your labs and everything is perfect candidacy, what's their response been?
Good. Everything's always good. They just give me their advice, and it's usually helpful. Like recently, actually, there's just like I get obsessed, and so I'll just like say, "This is the solution I need to pursue." So I'm like honing in and honing in, and I'm like, "This is it. This is it. This is it." I'll spend like weeks on it, and then I'll just talk to someone and they say, "Well, I don't know if that's going to work." Which immediately it's like, okay, like, am I wrong? But then they'll say, "Well, for this reason, this reason," and so as a scientist, you're like, "Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense." And then I'll say, "Have you dealt with this, and what would you do about it?" And then it just always cascades into like, "I haven't tried that, but I will now." And so I don't know. It's just science is like a puzzle, and I think music production. I think like pretty much everything that you pursue is very similar in its construction, and so being able to like take that input and like just receive it, it's always going to be helpful, in my opinion.
So when you first started producing music, it sounded like it was the same way when you first started your PhD program and all this. It's like, hey, I got to do this by myself. If I don't do this by myself, I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I can't do all these things.
Yep.
But then over time, you started to kind of open up to people about what you're doing, be it a personal project with the music, or even like a scientific problem that you're having, even more open to feedback. How did you become more open to feedback? Because I know when I get feedback at first, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. You don't know the genius that's happening in my brain. So you don't know what you're talking about. But then over time, I was like, you know what? You're right here. How did you change from like being kind of closed off to feedback to becoming more open to feedback?
I think it's just about doing it. Like any situation you find yourself in where you feel that you could ask for that, I think it takes some effort. Like you have to just think, okay, I'm going to kind of put my ego down a little bit right now and just ask, or just whatever you're trying to do, right? So I think like for me, really, it's just been putting it into practice. And just like anything, it's always really hard to do it like the first few times. Like it's always the mountain to climb. But once you do it, it just becomes like second nature. Like I think the music thing is probably the most recent thing I can think of, because I mean, I was scared to like ask for collabs. Like, and then you face like, no, I don't like your music and I don't want to collab with you. I think that's always something I'm worrying about. But at the end of the day, that's probably the worst thing they could tell you. And you both just move on, or it could go really good and give you that advice. So I think like just practicing being uncomfortable and just doing it has given me the best results so far.
And I think it's awesome that you realize that even if they give you like the worst case scenario, like it's not going to change what you want to do.
Yeah.
If someone says, hey, this is garbage, you're going to be like, cool, but you're still going to keep making music because it's something that brings you joy.
Yeah.
One thing that's helped me out is like realizing the source of the feedback. If it's like someone's opinion that I respect, I'm not going to necessarily like, I'll appreciate it. Just because you receive feedback, that doesn't mean you have to implement it. And so that's one thing I realized too. And so like if I ask someone that I know doesn't do any running at all, like for running advice, one, it's like any feedback they give me, if they're like a newbie at it, especially, I'm like, heard. I say thank you for it. There's no need to be rude about it. But in my heart, in my spirit, I'm like, I don't need to implement that feedback. Or I need to like do deeper research into that feedback to see if it's accurate or not. And if it's not, I'll just say thank you and move on. I don't think you have to take feedback from everyone as far as implementing it. And I think that's a good lesson to learn.
Yeah.
So what do you do if someone has a negative reaction to your music or content?
This is interesting. I've had a few reactions. So the first time I faced it, I asked sort of like a peer in the music genre, so like another kind of producer. He's like kind of new like me to producing and putting stuff out there. And I just kind of like was like, how should I respond to this? And so there I was a little uncomfortable because it's like showing him that I'm still self-conscious and still a little vulnerable with it. And he just gave me some general advice. He was like, if it were me, I would like respond to it, but in a nice way. Like, thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. And it doesn't mean you need to like do whatever they're saying. Cause I was getting a lot of like, I think there were other producers saying, hey, this is bad about your mix. This is bad about this sound. And actually one of them ended up being right. So afterwards I went back and commented. I was like, hey, the thing you were talking about was true. And I fixed it. Recently there was a dude who just wanted to hate just to hate. So he basically just said, oh, this sounds like every other EDM song. I find that interesting because I personally think EDM is one of those genres where like it's so different from each artist, kind of, but like a lot of the time I think it is. And I responded to him by just saying like, thank you for the feedback. And this might be like kind of petty, but I went to his channel and I watched his stuff, and he's like a creator too. So I mean, I said like, hey, this is a great video, very informative. Like he's almost like a podcast type person, just kind of putting out information. So I just was like, I'll just respond with kindness. Like,
Respond with positivity.
Yeah.
Did that person say anything else to you at that point?
Nope.
Nice. So, what made you turn that negative energy that that person was putting out to something more positive?
I don't know. I hope that, and I'm not trying to like change his mind or anything, but I do think that part of like creating anything, putting yourself out there, it's very vulnerable, it can be scary. Like all you can do is be positive about it. And I hope he sees that music creation, stuff like this, podcast videos, anything, right? It's all coming from someone putting in their time and effort to create something. And whether or not you like it, there's like always a professional, like nice way you could say that. And I don't think he was like that. So I just want him to see like maybe there's a connection between what we're doing. And so maybe if it's not for him, there's no reason to just be spreading that online. Like, I don't know. I mean, I can't change his mind, but
I like what you said as far as like turning negativity into positivity. And one thing that I realized with feedback with anything from anyone, be it online, not online, in real life, I'm like, who hurt you?
yeah,
In my head.
yeah,
And so I think about that person and think about their life experiences. I'm like, if you are just like this cesspool of just like hatred and just attacking random strangers that you don't even know, it's like, what happened in your life to make you that way?
I have a very interesting story. I was just thinking about this. So I had been on that side of saying stuff. And I looked back on it. So basically what happened was like, I think it was a year ago. I was on YouTube or whatever. And so I kind of do like rap music. I'll phase in and out from EDM and rap. And so it was like this startup rap artist guy who was just putting out his music. And at that time, I wasn't really producing. I wasn't really doing anything with music like that. And I commented like almost like a troll, like this is trash. So I've been on that side. And initially you're like, oh, I got him. This is so funny. This is crazy. But then he followed up. So like he responded to that comment, come back like a year later. He basically was like, well, where's your music? Like, show me it. Like, you're not producing. So then a year later, he responds to my comment again. So just like a few weeks ago, I got a notification and I looked back on it and I was like, why? Why did I do that? Like, I just regretted it. And so I replied to him. I was like, I was just being a troll. I think this comes from deep down, like my own self-consciousness. And yeah, I mean, I don't understand why people would like constantly chase that feeling. Like initially, maybe it's like, oh, I'm being so funny and it's so, you know, oh, he's going to get so mad or whatever. But yeah, I mean, now that I'm trying to produce music, I definitely see like, that's not the person that I would want to be or like the brand I would want to represent. Like, there's no point. I mean, whether or not his music is bad to me, I definitely think there's a better way I could have been more constructive with the criticism if I had any, or just not say anything at all. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. It just happened.
Well, I'm proud of you for kind of having that growth and realization about that. Did you ever apologize to that person?
Oh yes, I like literally I commented back and said, "I'm sorry, I don't know why I said this. I was like a different person a year ago." And he responded with positivity. He like liked it and said, "No problem, man." Like, and I told him to just keep grinding. I mean, I'm trying to do music now too, so like I really understand promoting and facing the criticism. So I think that was like a learning point for me.
I always, Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. So you said it happened about a year ago. What was going on in your life a year ago?
A lot of stress. School was ramped, like leading up to the candidacy exam. I was a TA, taking classes, managing a relationship, my family. I think it was just a mix of like, I don't have control over these things, but I can make this person a little bit upset or something. Like, I can get that reaction. And I could see why people want to chase that. I mean, you know me, I'm like psychological and like there's definitely a reason you get that response. You kind of feel a little bit like, oh wow, I got that response and it worked. Um, but yeah, now that I look back on it, it was completely like, it's just not what I want to do anymore.
All right. So I'm all about putting in backstops. And so backstop being like, say you're on a journey like GPS, right? Before the days of GPS, like you have like a Google Maps. I'm very old, so I'm not sure if you know this, but you used to print out the directions where you're going. So say you print out the directions and like you're looking for landmarks. And so like, all right, I'm going in the right direction because like, okay, I see mile marker 22 or 25. So I'm going in the right direction. Those are backstops. So if you see, oh, I see mile marker 1 for some reason, that's weird. I need to backtrack, figure out where I went wrong and continue on the same path. And so for yourself, you had like this situation where you had all this pressure built up and you kind of like lashed out for reasons being like, hey, I just want to feel something, psychological effect of like, I can impact someone else, potentially make them feel as bad as I'm feeling right now.
Yep.
And then also a year later, you're a different person now.
Yeah.
So do you have any backstops now to kind of prevent yourself from lashing out at other people when you have these stresses building up?
I honestly don't think so. I think for me, well, maybe, but like it's just been a little bit more about like I think just understanding a little bit better. And I think the creator side of things. I mean, even like this podcast, music, everything that we're all trying to do, like I mean, it's just what we're doing. I mean, people are putting time into it, and I don't know. To me, like now, I find that like, why am I just going to try to make someone feel bad about something that they think is good and they like, and whether or not it's like objectively bad or good or whatever, there's no reason for me to do that, like to just express that. I mean, we're all starting from somewhere. Take this with music, with science, with anything, learning. We all start from somewhere, just like the newbie in the gym. So if you just go up to them and say, hey, that form is trash, like that's not helpful. You're not doing anything. You're just getting a reaction. Like you're just gonna make them feel bad and they'll probably never come back. And so if you put yourself back where you were in the same sort of area, and then you're like, man, if someone came up to me and said that back then, I probably would have quit. It's just like, is that really what you want to do? And I think for me, the answer is definitely no.
You sound like you have a great backstop. You put yourself back to where you think they are early on the journey. And so it's like, once you kind of like, I do something similar. So if I see someone like attacking me for whatever reason, I kind of quell down the energy to lash back. And I think back, I'm like, where are you in your own personal development journey?
Yeah.
Because usually when people are lashing out, there's some type of imbalance going on. And so rather than like meeting with that energy, I'm like, all right, kind of give them space. And if the opportunity presents itself, I want to get to know them, kind of figure out the why behind it. I want to figure out, why did you do that? Because everyone has a quote unquote origin point behind whatever actions they're taking. But chances are they're just being guided like blindly, like on the ship. So you know me, I like the whole analogy of personal development. Like your life is like your life is a boat, right? A ship kind of going along the oceans of life. And so if you're not at the helm, whatever wave is going to hit you, it's going to knock you to the left and to the right. So I'm thinking to myself, that person is either not in control of their helm or they're so busy doing other things that the waves of life are just knocking them over left and right. And so it's like, of course they're going to lash out because they're not in control.
Yep.
And so instead of me using my own control to like feed into that, it's like, hey, why aren't they in control? 2, do they want to be in control? And 3, if they do want to be in control, is there anything I can do to help out? Because as much high regard I hold myself in, I understand I can't help out everyone. Some people, we just don't mesh well, and that's all right too. But if I know someone else, say like in the gym, might be a better fit for that person, I'll try to make an introduction. And next thing you know, a couple weeks later, they're just ha-ha and laughing, not working out. But I'm like, you know what? That's okay too. Because they've made a connection and they feel more at ease in the scenario. So I like the idea of like thinking back to where they were in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I found it very helpful. I found it like I said, I mean, now that I'm trying to create stuff and be a little bit more like expressive with things and understand that vulnerability, even like just going to the gym for the first time, like it's scary. You see other people, you're like, man, they know what they're doing and I don't. It's better to just be positive, I think. Like, I mean, I think honestly, like for my character, that's not who I would want to be. Like very negative, no, you're just doing it wrong. And a bit more like informative. I mean, because I do like teaching too. Like, maybe you're doing it wrong, but maybe this is why it could be a little bit better. Like, like to progress them and help them. Like, yeah, I think it just makes you feel better. And I think it's just a better impact that you're leaving on everyone.
Well, James, you sound like a fascinating individual. So thank you very much for sharing some of your backstory with us. But if you don't mind, we've talked enough about you. Well, let's talk about me a little bit.
Okay.
So you had 2 pieces of homework in preparing for this podcast. And one of those was picking a date.
Yep.
Do you remember what date you ended up picking?
July 31st.
July 31st, 2020. 2025. So July 31st, 2025. What's special about that date?
That is the day that I passed my candidacy exam.
All right. So let's go to July 30th, 2025. What was going through your head?
Very stressed. Got up very early. So I think my exam was at 9 a.m. I got up at like 5, just went straight to the library. So I was kind of last minute preparing, which now I don't think is the best strategy. And then there was a sense of like, just going through the motions a little bit. Like, I honestly don't really remember much of what happened, but there was a lot of feelings. And then after I passed, I was like, oh, that's it. Like they just pull me into the room and like, you passed. And then they all leave. So it's just like, okay,
So what was going through your head kind of waiting for the news that you passed?
I was freaking out. I mean, it only took them like 3 minutes to discuss. So they pull me out, they talk about it, and then pull me back in. Cause like a lot had happened in there. Like I have a few like flashes of like, what I had said, things that I said wrong even. So I was kind of like, I really don't know if I passed. It's one of those things like you don't know how they grade or like how they decide. And I also think it's very different per your people that you pick, like the professors. So yeah, it was like really uncertain.
Flashes of memory.
Yeah.
What were some of the flashes?
Me instructing my stuff to them. And there were a few things I said that were wrong for sure. My professor was there to help me. So for example, someone asked me a question and I thought I knew the answer. And in the literature, I basically said the answer that's like supposed to be true, but in practice, it's not. So my professor was immediately like, no, we don't do that. So yeah, that was kind of scary. I definitely remember that. But I just kept going. I mean, you can't just like, I think the whole point is like, okay, am I going to freeze up and be like, oh my gosh, I'm wrong and I'm a terrible scientist? Or am I going to just keep going and present my work? I think that's probably the biggest thing I remember, honestly.
All right, so you didn't stumble and freeze when you got something quote unquote wrong. You kept going.
Yep.
So why'd you do that?
I practiced so hard for that moment, and I practiced with other people. I think that was really important, and other people that like now I would say they just have a very different way of thinking. So I basically prepared for every possible outcome, and I think that it just really helped me like when I'm faced with a challenging person's question or something, how can I respond? Like I in the practices, I'd be like, okay, I don't know how to respond, but next time you come to my practice, I will. Like, just even if I don't know the answer, like how to continue and how to just keep my flow going. So I think like the practicing with other people was very helpful. And also like, I just knew that to me, like I knew that they were kind of seeing how I handled the pressure. Cause like science field it's very like political. It's very, people have opinions, people have perspectives. You have to kind of be very confident with how you're presenting your work. So I just was like, James, you just have to keep going. You can't just freeze up and stop. Like there were ways where I would just say, honestly, I'm not sure of the answer. But I think that topic does tie into like my next part, and I would just keep going.
So is that kind of like nerve-wracking, kind of being vulnerable with people, having them practice round after practice round, sit down and kind of like dissect every word you're saying?
Yes, and it's very similar to maybe this is like meta, but it's similar to like how I was being before this, right? Like you can tell I'm overthinking everything and like trying to do that. And so like when I started my practices there, I was saying all this stuff like, guys, I'm not ready. I'm sorry like for this and this, like, it's not going to be great right now. And then afterwards, everyone was like, it's really fine. Like you're going to be fine. You're going to pass. Just, you know what you need to work on. So yeah, I mean, like that was a time where I was feeling all of those things that I talked about. I'm trying to improve on now, like just feeling very like afraid and not comfortable in my own skin.
So what do you think that stems from?
I don't know. I think I've always been like quiet and kind of like just afraid of like judgment. So I think it's just always kind of been my personality until recently. For example, like the EDM thing is like so interesting because I used to never tell anyone that's what I listened to. I would just say, oh, I would just kind of rap or whatever.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it's what I just put on whatever's on the radio was always a common response. But now, if someone asks me, like I know I would just say, yeah, I like electronic music. Like it's what I like.
Have you done that recently? Just told someone what you liked?
No, but I know that it will come up in the future. At family events, a lot of people always just be like, so what are you listening to these days? Or like these days? And yeah, I used to always say those answers, but now I would definitely say, yeah, I like electronic music.
All right. So obviously you're going to be coming back for another episode of the podcast. And by then I assume there's going to be times where you've had the opportunity to share your love for EDM with people. And I'm curious to know what their response is going to be.
Okay. I'll I'll pay
Deal?
attention to that. Deal.
All right. So what I'll have you do is obviously 7/31/2025 corresponds with a bite brain entry. So I'll have you read this to yourself as I explain what bite brains are. Is that all right with you?
Yep.
All right, here we go. So bite brains are a tool that I use to help process the world around me. I try to complete them 6 days a week, taking a rest day on Sunday. Generally, they're broken down into one of three big categories: mind, body, and spirit. Mind is about having different mental rooms in your life, be it the music room, the candidacy room, the workout room. We all have these different rooms in our lives that we're allocating mental energy into. The only how to progress further in any endeavor is to enter those rooms with intention and do it often enough. The next is body. Body is about taking a 360 holistic approach to your body. It's more than just calories in or calories out through exercise. It's also how you carry your stress, how you deal with the pressures of life around you, and also the people around you. The last is spirit. Spirit's about diving in and reaching out. Diving into your own code of conduct. How do you want to present yourself and your character to the world? If it's something that you like, keep going along with that conduct. If not, it might be time to rewrite that conduct. And reaching out means reaching out to other people, realizing that you can't do this thing called life alone. And then there are two special categories, known as Inosala and as all as one. Inosala is about taking the mind, body, spirit, using them all at once to really supercharge your own development in a balanced manner. And as all as one, it's about taking that balanced state into the world around you, really realizing that even if you are in a supercharged Inosala state, you still need to exist in the world around you. So how do you deal with people that criticize you, praise you, or indifferent to you? So James, you have a chance to read that?
Yep.
What'd you think?
I think it relates to everything I've talked about.
All right, cool. So what I'll do is I'll catch everyone up and then we'll talk about it. Is that all right with you?
Yep.
Here we go. So again, this is 7/31/2025. It is an Inosala by All As One entry as well. The title is Fuel to Fuse. and this is it. Fusions can start the countdown of a great journey. Blend two components into one fluid plan, protect from an overload, or use heat as an energy source to melt through obstacles. What these all have in common is that you need to input fuel to make them happen. Play the odds here. If you try to do something, there's a chance that you may fail. But if you never try, you're guaranteed to remain stagnant. Apply to your personal development, failing to try will always be worse than trying and then failing. Allow fusion to be the starting point for your journey. The fuel comes from entering the mental rooms, even when the effort seems cold and distant, trusting that putting your body through the motions will further etch your code's desire to do better, to be better. Put fusion skills to work and let the lessons fuel your growth. So James, that photo of me is running.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I love about running is that when you first start out, it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first quarter mile, even sometimes a full mile, your body's like, why am I doing this? But then it starts warming up and everything. And once you start warming up, you start using that energy source and that heat to kind of really supercharge your development in your journey of running. And so after about the mile and a half, it's like, oh, I can do this. I think the same starts out with any journey. You're kind of cold about it. It's like, you know what? It feels hard to enter those mental rooms. But once you start getting that momentum going, getting that flow state going, it's like, oh, I can do this. I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I love anime. And I told you I was going to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a character named Goku. Do you know who Goku is?
Oh, yes, I know Goku.
Who's Goku?
He's from Dragon Ball Z. He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
He's like literally the foundation of anime.
Yep.
And so one of the series, it was Dragon Ball Super.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a fight that he had to win or else the whole universe would be erased.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the stakes get pretty crazy. It's no longer just planet. It's like the whole universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was fighting a guy that he just could not beat. And so you know what the spirit bomb is?
Oh, yes.
So he threw the spirit bomb at him.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, cool. And he threw it back at Goku. And it hit Goku.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing was like, that was a lot of heat and energy hitting him. And instead of like exploding, he absorbed that energy. And he hit a state called Ultra Instinct Sign. And with that, his body just kind of responded on its own to defensive machine. If I like do a punch at you, he just automatically block it before he was even consciously aware of it. But even that wasn't enough. And so he was fighting Jiren again for the penultimate fight. And he unleashed all of his energy. And everyone's like, man, it's so hot, all this heat. And rather than just giving in to the heat and said like, hey, I don't want that heat, Goku absorbed it into himself. And it happened in that scene right there. And so once he absorbed that energy into himself and all that heat and accepted it, part of his journey and part of his challenge, giving away all insecurities, giving into the fight fully, he hit his mastered Ultra Instinct state. And in that state, he was able to automatically dodge and automatically attack. It's kind of an OP power. And obviously it was like just for that, I think it lasted like 6 minutes before of course he tapped out because, you know, Goku, it's just like, oh, it's too much. And he just collapses. But it kind of reminds me of like a personal development journey. Sometimes like the heat around you can be so intense that you just want to shy away from it. But if you really dive into it, kind of fuse with that heat and use that as your energy going forward, be it you're starting to run miles or even like the warm-up sets when we're working out, or even like, oh man, this is a really dense book I have to read. Once you kind of get into it and don't shy away from that feeling, I think you really supercharge your growth. And obviously the stakes of us is not like the whole universe is going to be erased. It's like, I want to pass my candidacy exam, or I want to hit a PR, or I want to hit a certain mileage. Like whatever it is, you can't shy away from it. So I think the big point for me with fusion is like, you have to get started. Because if you never get started, you're never going to make any progress. You always have that feeling of what if? What if I can't do it? Or what if I can do it? It's like, don't say you can't do it. Give yourself a shot. You're going to fail. Like it happens. I failed before. I assume you failed before.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, that's worst case scenario. I failed. What do you do with that failure? Tell me, what do you do with that failure when you fail?
I think for me, I would use it to motivate me to do it in the future. Like you learn from your mistakes. Even the music stuff. I mean, I know I said I've been producing since I was 11. But like I actually used to try to make music and put it out there. Back then it was all on SoundCloud and it was pretty bad. Like I look back on it and I'm like, yeah, this is not good. And I actually used to beg labels to tell me, like record labels for EDM, to tell me why they're not taking my stuff. Like, cause I just wanted to learn. I was like, what about the production is not correct? Like, what do I need to do? But now I look on it and I'm like, you know, much more experienced. I'm like, oh, okay, I see why they didn't accept it. And it's like, well, now I can make it the way that it needs to be. So yeah, I mean, I think you just need to learn, look back, I mean, grow and just continue. It's very hard. Like for me to even say that, you know, it's like kind of hard, but it's true.
Well, I want to cheers you. I'm proud of you for saying that. And you touched on another concept that my friend, good friend Hayden Shenefeld kind of tells me about is the concept of Kaizen. And Kaizen is all about consistent incremental progress. And so the fact that you're probably not the same person that's producing music that you were at 11 is like now, even for myself, I look back at like the very beginning when like I even touched a computer for video editing. James, it was rough, but I was so proud of it at the time. I'm like, look at what I did.
Yeah.
It's so cool. But looking back at it, I'm like, you know what? I'm not like disturbed by saying like those videos were like bad. The video editing wasn't clean, but that's the knowledge base I had. It's like do you play video games?
Yeah.
It's like when you start out like in a role playing game, right? It's like The Legend of Zelda. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, but I've never played it, but yes. I know I need to play it.
Why do you hurt me?
Why don't we do like Skyrim or something?
I didn't play Skyrim.
Okay,
That's
so-
90 hours of burnout on a video game.
Okay,
Well,
well,
then again,
Fallout or
Fallout. That's a good one. We'll do a Fallout.
Okay.
So Fallout, the whole concept of AP, like you can kind of slow down and freeze things up.
Yeah.
And so at the very beginning of the game, you have like maybe one shot. And it's like, all right, you look at the journey by the end, you could just be OP. The whole time could just be bullet time, essentially. I'm not sure why, but it's like a super cool concept.
Right.
You go back to the initial levels of that game, it's like, oh, this is easy. And so it's like, you can't judge your initial character's progress at the beginning of their journey because you're not going to have like the power suit and everything. You're not going to have all the stuff that you're going to have by the end of that quote unquote journey. And so like when you started out your PhD program, you probably didn't know a whole lot compared to what you know now. But at that time, you were like, man, I know everything. I know how you like the little dancing moves. Yeah, I've seen it before.
I mean, okay. Well, it's really interesting you talk about that too, because I do think I've been better about giving myself credit for like my knowledge about the PhD because, I mean, yeah, I've grown. At the first part of my PhD, I feel like, yeah, I didn't really know a whole lot. I mean, I was exploring, and also my program is more like exploratory. You're supposed to try to find the path you want. So I didn't really know much. And even when I did pick a lab, I still had no idea. Yeah, and now like I feel like, oh wow, look at how far I've come. Like look at the conversations I can have. Look at the candidacy exam that I was able to defend like my own science. Yeah, I mean it's all about growing and just like reflecting back. I think is important too, and just kind of looking at where you came from and how much you progressed, and then using that to fuel you to keep going. Like you can't just stop.
You can't just stop. So what would you tell the you from a couple of years ago before you started the PhD program?
I would say to never give up, be patient. And like you're there for a reason. Like there's a reason you passed the candidacy exam. There's a reason that you got into the PhD program. I think is a big milestone. There's a reason why you got into the lab. Like there's reasons for everything. Like you're obviously you're qualified. You are. I was going to say somewhat qualified, but you are qualified to do those things. And I think that. Like I would want to just tell myself that to just give myself a little bit of like, oh, you know what, maybe I am here to do this thing that I can do. And I think it takes, I'm book smart, I'm capable to learn, I'm capable to do all these things. Like, let me use that and get the PhD. Like, just make myself feel better about getting in and all that.
So an important distinction you just made there, you said somewhat qualified versus actually qualified. Why do you think you did that?
It's just the same roots I have. Like, I always use words like that, like somewhat qualified, or it's like, a little this, or I'm kind of smart. I'm kind of like people will always say, "Oh, you're so smart, James." Like, I'm kind of smart. Like, sure. It's just that self-doubt in me of like, I also do think there is a sense of like, I don't want other people to feel like I'm smart. I think the smart topic specifically is interesting. I don't want to make other people feel bad about anything. Like, I think everyone's smart in their own ways. I was just talking with people about this. Like, I wish I knew more about like cars. I don't know anything about cars, but there are younger people that I know about me, kids that literally could be like, oh yeah, I could change your oil. Oh yeah. And I'm like, dude, how do you know how to do all of that stuff? Like, and then they look at me and they go, how do you do the math and chemistry that you're doing? So I think I find a respect for like people in all different areas.
All right. So do you have a goal to eliminate the words like kinda and somewhat?
Not currently, but I think that it just comes with practice. So just now how I like caught myself, I think that was to me, that was like a big achievement. Like, oh, I actually caught myself and didn't just let myself say, oh, I'm somewhat smart. So yeah, just practicing and talking with people about myself and my work. Like when people ask me about it, being more comfortable with just, yeah, I do this crazy science stuff and this is how I would explain it in one sentence. Like giving myself the credibility that I think I do deserve, which even that was like weird for me to say.
You do deserve it. You worked your butt off. I assume it's not easy getting into a PhD program at all.
Yeah.
Not only did you do that, but how many years does it take to get from like starting a PhD program to like having a candidacy exam?
So that's 2.
2 years of just solid like science work
Yep.
from getting from point A to point B, dealing with the stressors. You had to blow up with a guy about a year ago, so you're kind of doing that stressors. But even in the midst of that, a year later, before you even took the candidacy exam, you're like, you know what, that probably wasn't the right move here. And you reach out to him to apologize. I think that's a huge sign of growth. Why wouldn't you be proud of yourself?
Yeah, true. That's all true. So I am proud of myself.
Hell yeah, man. Well, James, thank you for diving into the bike brain segment of Fusion. I think it's a huge component of just any personal growth. It's like, hey, sometimes things are going to get tough. It's going to get hot. You just got to dive into it and keep going, keeping the Kaizen approach going. So in continuing with the theme of focusing on me, you had a second piece of homework in preparing for this podcast. So, James, let me ask you, what personal development tool do you use to help hit your goals?
Okay, I gotta get my little notes that I wrote.
Let's got notes ready.
So I titled it "Beating Perfectionism."
Hold on. This is the second time like in a row where people are starting with the title. I'm not used to that. It's usually a struggle to get the title.
Oh, okay.
No, that's good. I'm not mad about it. All right. So beating perfection.
Perfectionism.
Oh, sorry.
That's
beating perfectionism.
Yep.
Perfectionism. All right. What is that?
What is perfectionism?
Yeah.
For me, it has been this need, or it's a need in my brain a lot of the time, to be the best at what you do. Like no matter what I'm pursuing, I have to be at the top. Like I just, that's what I want. And I don't know where, I honestly don't really know where it comes from. Well, maybe I do, 'cause I'm not sure yet. I'll think about it. But I definitely think it's always been there. Like I'm very competitive. I always want to win. I always want to be at the top. The music, I want to, like I literally envision myself in front of a huge crowd playing my music to them and going on tour and doing like things I've never thought of before. Like, I mean, I'm in a PhD program. Like that's not realistic right now. And it's just like, I don't know. I just always want to aim for the top. Like if I'm going to do something, I might as well just go all in. And if I don't get there, I mean, usually for me, that's been like a huge, okay, just stop doing it. Like you're never going to make it. But that's part of my steps that I have.
So the reason why you kind of created like the beating perfectionism tool is because like you realize like, I don't want to stop if I don't see myself at the quote unquote top, or I don't want to stop if it's not quote unquote reasonable or rational to do right now.
Yeah.
And this tool is used to help you overcome that.
Yeah.
All right, I dig it. You have a backstory for the tool. Everyone listening, like, look, this is like awesome stuff. A backstory for the tool, like it's not near anime level, but that's okay. We're all works in progress. But like a backstory for the tool, this is like a clear before and after. Let's hear it. So what is the beating perfectionism tool?
Okay, so there's 4 things. They're just kind of like steps, I would say, that I'm trying to really use. And number 1 actually relates to what we've been talking about, and I do think it's important. So number 1 is to honor the intensity of my own skill set. So not doubt myself, not, like still hone in on the fact that I'm caring about this for a reason. So I shouldn't just immediately shut it down. Because then I think it's like, oh, I'm going to go so hard for this thing, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough, so let me just get out. I think it's still important to pursue these kinds of things, I think. The second one is don't let setbacks or hurdles be the end all, be all. So obviously, like we said, everything comes with challenges. Everything's going to come. That initial challenge, I think, is very difficult for a lot of things. And so like, don't just say, okay, I'm going to quit right now because it's a little hard, or you have to be a little patient, or you have to be a little more social and network. And like, you don't like that, so those kinds of things. The third one, okay, the last 2 are by far the most important, and the 2 that I'm not good at doing right now. So I'm trying really hard to get them into my like day-to-day thinking. The third one is balance. So I can't let one thing just take over. I'm very prone to doing that with school, the music. So if I find something I really do enjoy, and then I kind of get past that initial hurdle of like, okay, maybe you are good enough, then it's like, okay, I need to be the best. And then it's like, this is all I can think about right now. Like always, like music, when I first started it, I mean, my girlfriend, she probably thinks I'm crazy because I would go to her and be like, trust me, this is it. Trust me, like this is going to blow up. Trust me, like this could change our lives, and I think it's a sense of like, it'd be really cool if that happened. But the issue, like that's cool to have dreams like that, I think. And I think that's fine. But the issue is that I still have other priorities. And so it's not okay to just shut all of those down because you want to focus so hard on one thing. But see, it's still like, maybe that is okay sometimes. I really don't know. But for me, I think with my life, it's not.
To like go all in on something?
Yeah.
So does go all in on something mean shelving other responsibilities?
Yes.
And is that a good thing or a bad thing for you?
For me, it's a bad thing.
Why is that?
Because I care about a lot of other things, like my family, my girlfriend. We have a dog. I mean, I love that dog to death, and like, I'm not going to just not take care of the things I need to do with those responsibilities. School, I've already kind of hinted, like I have these crazy music dreams, but I'm not going to like quit the PhD program. Like I've seen people that will do that. They're like, oh, I quit medical school to pursue my music passion. I think that would be a very big jump. So that's where it's like, maybe for some people it does make sense, but for me right now, I don't think it does. I think I have all of these different things going on that I do care about and I want to keep going. So I need to try to balance them all out versus just eliminating a bunch of them.
All right. So before you get to the fourth one, I think it's important for you to realize that it sounds like you are starting to realize that the need for balance is there. I think the first part of any kind of journey is like raising awareness to it. Something that, I believe in a whole lot.
Yeah.
The first thing is raising awareness to it. And I don't think any of us are going to be perfect. Of course, something shiny and new, being your resurgence into the music world and producing music, that's shiny new. So of course, it's going to be a lot of your intention. And it's also like a rocket ship, startup fuel. It takes a lot of fuel to get it from here to break into the stratosphere and into the outer space and everything. It takes a lot of energy. Yep. But once it kind of gets there, that energy can be decreased. And so kind of going to the concept of mental rooms that we talked about earlier, like, of course, like, hey, if I had to go in there, like dust everything off, clean everything out and get things situated, that's going to take a high amount of energy allocation to do that. So it's balancing, excuse me. It's balancing that high cost, like the high energy cost with other obligations. And so do you think you're failing in doing that?
I think I was for a long time, actually, like years. I think school, like the first part of my PhD, I was like this, and I actually kind of regret it a lot. Like I look back on it and I definitely am learning now, like there are other important things besides being the most well-known scientist. Like that's always been a dream of mine. I mean, there's family, there's music, there's other things. But the music room too, like I would spend so much time producing. I'd be like, I need to get it to sound right. I cannot put it down. I just cannot put it down until it sounds right. I have to play it in my car. Like my girlfriend would go, we'd be at a store and I'd be like, can you just run in so I can play the song in my car real quick? So right there's like time where I'm eliminating that because I just need to hear it in my car because I don't know, that's how I like test my songs. I think that is it's becoming too much. And then it's like, I get these phases where, I'm not saying the music thing's going to be a phase. I want to continue it as long as I can, but I will like hone in on some specific random thing. And then, once I realize I'm not going to make it, I'll just be like, just forget about it. That's kind of happened to me with guitar playing. So I recently got some guitars and I was all about it. And now I'm obsessed with the music room. So I haven't touched like guitar playing, which I think is very different than like EDM. It'd be cool to combine the two too. I think that's something I'm thinking about. But yeah, it's just like I've let music recently specifically overtake like everything else. And I don't think that's okay.
So in your pursuit of balance, how do you ensure that it's not taking, let's say you have 100% of energy each day. How do you ensure it's not taking 80, 90, or 100% of that energy each day?
I think this is my step 4 right here.
All right. I was hoping it was, and I was hoping that was a great setup. I don't get any credit, of course. What's number 4?
Step away. Step out of the room. Put it down. And it's so interesting because it's like, I feel like I'm chasing a feeling whenever I'm pursuing these goals. And like for music specifically, ear fatigue is so common. Like I'll listen to my same 4 bars of something that I'm like, oh, this is it. And with EDM, there's like a drop, right? So the drop is like the main component. So that's, for me, that's the first thing that I make.
The drop.
I don't know why. Like the intros and build up are like the hardest things for me to make.
What's a drop? I'm sorry.
The bass drop. like where this, so EDM will always like lead you and build up and then it'll like drop, that's where like people are like, so that's what I always make.
I'm like someone's dropping something?
No, like it's where just like everything comes in and it's like crazy. Like when you go to an EDM festival or like a rave or whatever, you're probably hearing the drop. Like that's all people care about.
Man, I wish I was cool enough to go to so many EDM.
I've actually never been to one.
All right, sounds like we both have work to do there. I've been to one. Just one EDM concert.
Was it cool?
It was fun.
Yeah, I want to go.
I just remember the performer kept saying mosh pit, and I was not and said mosh pit. And I was like, that looks violent, and so I didn't go down there.
Yeah, I'm not into that side. I actually think EDM could be a lot more like. I think a lot of people do just like, oh, it's really cool, and I can like bang my head to it or whatever. But for me, it's a lot more emotional. Like I like emotional songs. I think you'll see as I release stuff, and for anyone that's interested in listening. For me, the music ties to my life a lot. Like I use it it's what I listen to in the gym every day. It's like a stress relief. Like, yes, there is this like, oh wow, this is really cool. And it's very crazy. And there's a drop and like, but it's about like releasing something for me. And I do like emotional songs. Like I think for me as an artist right now, it ties a lot into my life experiences and like how there's like builds and drops just like in life. Like, I mean, that's what I try to put in my music.
All right. So you're talking about the concept of stepping away. So you kind of like, sounds like your EDM music producing is broken down into chunks. And the first thing you do is a drop.
Mhm.
So once you complete the drop, it's like, all right, now is a good time to step away. You have like milestones that help you know when to step away.
Yep. So pretty much it's like if I find myself looping over, like in music, if I find myself looping over the same chunk over and over for whatever reason, for me, I need to make it sound right. I say, okay, I think it's time to just step it, like put it down, like go do something else, go into your schoolroom, go pick up the guitar, go see your girlfriend, go see your family, go do something. Because what I find is that like I'll get so tired of it, I hate it. By the time I'm like in a session, I'll be like, man, this sounds really bad now, and I don't want to post it on TikTok. I don't want to do anything. But then like you just give it a few days or something and you come back and you're like, okay, yeah, this is what like I was feeling when I first made it. And I do think like with music, it is psychological. It's very like your ear, I mean, it's like a dopamine rush for EDM. You're like, oh, this is so, and it's not very efficient probably that I make the drop first because that's the most like dopamine releasing part. Like it's what everyone wants to hear. Um, so I think as like a producer, it's definitely helped me and just like noticing my patterns, like, okay, I'm looping over this, I need to step away. Or I'm stuck with this, I need to step away. Like just things like that. I think those are probably the two big ones that I can think of. If I'm like really stuck, I have no idea where to go with something, or if I'm looping over the same section over and over again.
I think the coolest thing about the tool is that you spoke a lot about the last two steps. And so I want to dive in more on the first two.
Okay.
So the first one you said was honor the intensity of my own skill set.
Yep.
And that means that you're caring for a reason and not shutting it down once you kind of realize, okay, this isn't going the way that I want to go to. Maybe I'm not confident enough in doing this. So you just, instead of shutting it down, you want to continue. So what does it mean to honor the intensity of your own skill set?
I think this just ties into a lot of the first things we talked about. So, like, the perfectionist idea too, I think the imposter syndrome for me comes in a lot where I want to be perfect. So then if I'm not, I immediately discredit myself. So part of it has been, obviously I have some kind of ability to do these things, like the music production. Like I said, people have reached out to me and I've been more just confident. I've been saying, hey, this is exactly what I do. Like all of those kinds of things I think are something that are helping me not really feel like I need to be perfect, because while I tell them, sometimes I will get back, oh, well, I do this. And, it's just like you can talk to each other and say, oh, well, I don't know everything and I cannot do everything myself. And, I don't need to be perfect. Like clearly if this is reaching people and they're giving me positive feedback. So for what it is, I think it's good. And it's just like great. Like I'm putting myself out there. People like it for what it is. Like it doesn't need to be anything else. And that's something too, like the whole like mixing and mastering thing, it is very hard. Like especially when you make EDM, that's very complicated, all these sounds and everything. I mean, I think about your stereo, I think about your frequency ranges all the time and like how to fill everything. But I will spend so long on mixing and mastering, honestly, to the point where sometimes I think I like make it much worse. And so I need to get better about like version controlling my songs. I'm not good at that, but it's just like how much are you just going to keep thinking that something needs to be better when it's already good for what it is, I guess.
Well, I think that kind of plays into your fourth step. And I saw what you did there. I want to talk about the first one. You looped us back into the fourth
Well,
one.
I think they're all tied together.
Of course, they're all tied together, man. It's your beating perfectionism tool. And so it's like, that's why you have those three things in the number four step. And the first one is step away once a milestone is hit, or step away once you find that looping is occurring, or step away when you feel stuck. I think that's good. I love that, but I want to talk about number two now. Let's go back to number four. So you said, don't let setbacks of hurdles be the end all be all. Sorry, don't let setbacks or hurdles be the end all be all. What does that mean?
It means that just because maybe you do something that's not great, and I think like this is going to tie into the songs that I make. Some of them probably won't be that good to some people. And just because, you can't make everything good doesn't mean that you're not like a good artist. I have a very hard time dealing with that. Like I want every one of my songs to be perceived as good by the masses.
But you can't control how they perceive things, can you?
No, but I want only, like deep down, and I know like this doesn't make sense, but deep down, like I want only positive comments. I want only like, oh wow, that's a banger. Yes, that's it. But when I look back at some of the things, like I have a song that's currently scheduled to release on Spotify, hopefully soon. I don't know, this whole like distributor thing is kind of annoying. I actually don't really like that one at all anymore. Like I think it's just not good. But at the same time, like at that time to me, it was really good, and it like speaks for something that I was dealing with during my candidacy, like just all the stress. So recently I've been playing it more and I'm like, you know what, I do like it. And like you made it and it's already scheduled for release. I do like that aspect of the distribution because like it's submitted, you can't do anything. But I think in the future, this is always something I'm thinking about. And I do think it's a problem because it limits me creatively. Like, it's like, instead of just doing what I want, I'm trying to make things sound like a hit. Like, instead of it just being my song, it's like, I need it to sound like these other people that have made hits that are very famous. And actually recently I posted a TikTok video where it was just like, I just said, I'm going to stop trying to be like everyone else. I'm going to stop trying to be famous. I'm going to stop and just make what I like. And it's probably gotten the most like like positive feedback response interaction on TikTok than any of my other posts. So
Wait, so being like true, open, vulnerable, and authentic to what you really want to do led to a positive reaction?
yeah.
Who would have thought that was possible?
Well, it's just because like I also think this leads to sounding like other people. Like and same thing with science. Like I want to be as smart as this guy. I want to be as in the field as that guy. Like you can't. You're yourself. I think I'm trying to be a lot more comfortable with this kind of idea. Like there's many EDM producers that I love that I grew up with, and obviously you take inspiration from people, but they just made their own stuff. Like they're not trying to be like anyone. If they wanted to, they would just collaborate, and then like you get those sounds together. So yeah, it's interesting because like a lot of the projects that I started on my TikTok page that I've like teased weren't really my original style. So I'm not even sure that I'm going to finish them, but I think I should. I mean, they're still like ideas.
I think what you just said there was pretty critical too. It's like you have these role models and everything. It's like, do I want to do exactly what they're doing? If you look at those role models, if you go back to their earliest parts of their journeys, back to they were in the beginning, not in this ideal state that we see them in, chances are there's someone chirping in their ear, oh, you can't do this. Oh, this doesn't sound good. And you know what they did with that?
Just kept going and
Disregarded it, said, thank you, please, disregarded it, and kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that you're being open and true about what you want and what you want to do is huge. And the only question I have is like, why put so much emphasis on what others think as opposed to what you think of your own stuff?
I don't know. I think it's part of I think originally, like in the beginning of this, I talked a little bit about how like there's something about the social aspect of like other people are vibing with what you're making. There's just something about that feeling where it's like I've put something out there that is my creative expression. Like I said, I think most of my songs are emotional. Like, and I think maybe a lot of the EDM scene won't really see that. I don't know, because all they care about is, well, okay, a lot of what people care about in EDM, in my opinion, is like just to drop it. Like it sounds cool, but it's just still like a feeling of like, wow, like these people are resonating with something that I've created. So I think that that's why I care a lot about it. And yeah, it gets weird because like there are songs that are very popular in the EDM genre, and I do not like them like at all. Like
I think that's fine.
And yeah, like at the end of the day, it's all subjective, right? But like there have been times where I'm like, man, if I just do that, like I could do that. I think I would blow up. And it's just like, is that really what I want to do? I don't know. I don't think so.
Let me ask, why do you think you want to blow up?
That's the other thing too. I don't know why. I'm always thinking about that kind of stuff. Like it would definitely change my life, maybe not in a good way, if I became like super famous.
Are you unhappy with your life?
No. But like if I did, I think it would bring on this really weird turning point where I'd have to really make a big decision about like what I would want to do. So I actually don't know that I ever want to be faced with that challenge.
Maybe. But one thing you can just kind of take into mind now is that like, say you need to get the mile marker 10 before you have to go exit left or exit right.
Yeah.
Right now you're maybe mile marker 1, 2, 3.
2.
So it's like, yeah, the end goal is always great, but we have to make the choices using things like the beating perfectionism tool to make sure we're making consistent incremental progress along our journey.
Yep.
Because if you're just so focused on getting to mile marker 10, it's like, all right, this isn't going to get me any closer to mile marker 10, so I can't release it.
Yep.
You're never going to make any strides forward. And it kind of goes back to what we talked about in the bike brain. It's like failing to act just means you're going to remain stagnant. And having the idea of having to be perfect is a form of stagnation because it's paralysis. Like you just can't move forward without having every piece of the information. So I love it that these 4 steps are really kind of honing in on that. As you start implementing these 4 steps in your own life, did you find yourself making decisions quicker and acting quicker?
Yes, I think so. So like, for example, the post I mentioned, I've never uploaded something more quick because to me, it was just like, okay, I like it. I'm not going to think any more about it. And let me just put it out there. Which normally when I need to post on TikTok, I mean, I will post it privately so many times to make it sound a certain way. Like I'd be like, it doesn't sound good here. I need to fix it and then put it back. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped me just like I think it's also just more efficient. And instead of worrying about all that stuff, it's just like, just make what you want and then just put it out there. And if people don't like it, I mean, if you like it and you think it's a good production, there's a chance maybe it just hasn't found the right audience yet or something, you know, like, but at the end of the day, it's still just your work. So I think, yeah, it's definitely helped me just like be much quicker about, I'm not scared to release this. I'm not scared to tease it. I'm not scared to show other people, you know, and just show them like, this is what I like.
And chances are, I mean, someone will be like, hey, that was pretty cool. How did you make this? And now you're very responsive. Oh, this is how I did it. Instead of like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. This just kind of happened. Like you can be more confident in yourself.
Yeah.
And that confidence will lead to more opportunities because like, oh, that's awesome. I never thought about doing it like that. Let's do some collaboration together. And then you reach out to other people and you're building a network of people that love doing the same type of stuff that you do. So I like the idea that this tool has helped you work quicker.
Yeah. It's pretty recent, I won't lie, but that one post for sure has been like the first one where I really thought about all of this, and even producing that song, it's just been like, okay, I'm not going to try to sound like anyone else. I'm just going to make my own thing, and so far, I mean, I love it. I think it's going to be great whenever I release it, hopefully soon.
So James, thank you very much for kind of sharing these 4 steps for the beating perfectionism tool. I think it's a really cool thing, and you keep like alluding to this music. Can I hear it, or how does that work?
Yeah, I can play it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Let me hear it.
Okay, well, so this is just like a snippet right now.
All right.
I hope you know that physically my reaction is going to be very interesting because I feel like I know, okay, this is going to tie into everything, because I feel like I know you don't listen to the genre, maybe. And I feel like I know that this is like, when I listen to this music, like I feel like I have to be behind closed doors.
We're behind closed doors.
You know what I mean. Anyway.
May I?
Sure. Don't look at the name because it's just a name. It doesn't have a name yet. Yeah, that's the next thing.
That was awesome. So what are those voices and everything?
Those are just like vocal samples. So I think, okay, so like Skrillex has been one of my biggest things. He used to always put like these little vocal things in there. I don't know. I thought they were really cool. So I've like worked it in.
That was really cool. I thought that was your voice in there.
No, I wish.
So the beat dropping is like, oh, we're just holding our breath and
Yeah, it gets into that part, and that's where you're supposed to be like, you know, head bobbing a little bit.
I think it was head bobbing. Dude, thanks for sharing.
Yep.
Dude, so this has been fantastic. I don't think everyone's ever like played their own produced music here. I'm not sure. I don't think. I know they haven't. Unless I'm having a massive blackout right now. But as far as the beating perfectionism tool, there's 4 things that you do. I just want to recap those and make sure that we kind of have a nice clean list of that, if that's right with you. So James Cerna's beating perfectionism tool. First is to honor the intensity of your own skill set. Number 2 is don't let setbacks or hurdles be the end all be all. Number 3 is balance the other rooms. Number 4 is step away. And step away once you hit a milestone, or step away once you find yourself looping, or step away when you find yourself stuck. James, I think these are fantastic, digestible 4 steps. If someone's looking to kind of start using their own beating perfectionism tool, what recommendation would you have for them?
I think it takes a lot to even just start thinking about all of these things. I think it takes, sometimes like for me, it feels like I'm trying really hard to settle my own ego, I think. So I think like I would tell them, you have to really sit back and reflect on yourself. And you have to just say like, am I chasing this unattainable goal? And is it making my process less efficient? Is it making, like, I feel like I felt worse about music production because it's just, I would always tell myself, oh, it's not as good as the big guys, as the big leagues. It's never going to get there. Like, that's what I would just keep saying. So I think if you're at that state, like it takes a lot to sit back and say, okay, maybe I'm not approaching this creativity thing in a good way. So I would just tell them to try to really sit back, reflect, put everything aside and just think about how they're approaching whatever they're trying to make. And then, you know, if they feel like they are chasing this perfectionism, or they're doing perfectionism, like this habit of like, oh my gosh, it needs to be the best, I would say that it's probably not realistic. And I think that it takes a lot to say that, like to admit, I'm not going to be the best, maybe not right now. But all you can do is put out what you can and then just grow from there.
Just grow from there. Don't let perfectionism be the enemy of progress.
Yeah.
James, I couldn't have said it better myself. You know you're coming back, right?
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
No, yeah, I'll come back.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you being here. Let's cheers out. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Thank you for watching and listening to today's episode. Chances are you're looking to embark on your own personal development journey. I'm not going to lie to you. True personal development is hard, and it's supposed to be hard. That's because you're not only changing who you are, but how you operate. The aim of this podcast is to give you a community of people that are striving to do the same. So like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, comment below on how you plan on using today's tool to find your own best path forward. We'll see you next time.